怖いこれ。起きすぎ。Okay. This thing is huge. Okay, this thing I can tell already has got some power because it's got a long ways to go. Very, very smooth. It almost feels like it's not a gas engine. The power feels just so linear, like maybe like an electric motor or something. It's comfy. It doesn't really feel like... I know this bike isn't slow, but it kind of looks like just a big old pig. It's a big, huge bike, but after you get going, it doesn't really feel so big anymore. Much easier to get used to than I thought it would be. I can't say that I feel uncomfortable at all getting on this bike from my CBR, and then the KTM was a great bike, but that throttle took me a while to get used to. But I feel right at home already on this thing. Mina. Everybody kills the bike. I don't know why. Of course, I've killed it before, but I had it for a day or two before I did. But everybody so far, my friend Jay, KTM, ZX14, they've all killed it. This might be the smoothest bike I've ever ridden before. God, and it's got some pull to it. Even just fucking with the throttle a little bit, it scoots you back. And of course, the bike is huge, but sitting in it, after you're sitting on it, it doesn't really feel like a big bike anymore. Of course, like when I was talking before, it doesn't feel like a big bike. It means just like it doesn't feel so heavy anymore. It doesn't, you know, but like just sitting on it, you know, like my arms aren't reached out so far. I feel like the tank on my CBR is like right in your face, and this thing is the tank. The tank seems smaller than my CBR. That is awesome. It's not loud enough though. That sounds good though. It's kind of barky once you get into it, but otherwise it's pretty quiet. Maybe I'm just deaf from riding my bike so long now. This nature is beautiful. God, I wonder what this bike would feel like after about 6,000–7,000 RPM, because down low it feels nice and strong and so smooth. Definitely though, I can feel the weight when I'm braking. How dare you take both of your hands off of my motorcycle while you ride. Wow. Incredible. In the corners it feels good, but just in general, the bike feels a little slow. As far as maneuvering wise, like it feels really stable, but just hard to turn in. It's not. So the KTM felt so smooth in the corners, and this one feels smooth too, but it requires a little bit more effort to get this bike leaned over. I feel like I'm riding on a spaceship. When I was test riding the BMW, I kept thinking, I want to get back on my bike. I want my bike back. I want my bike back. On these two bikes, the KTM was a little iffy because of the throttle, but on this bike, I feel like, oh, whatever, it's fine. Of course, I want to get back on my bike eventually, but you can take your time. I'm having a good time on this bike. This is a very comfy, relaxed bike. You know, it's a shame that you can't test drive a lot more bikes, because you gotta spend a lot of money to sometimes ride the bike for the very first time, and maybe you like it, but maybe you don't like it so much. Maybe there's a different bike that's better for you. But you know, a lot of guys won't let other people ride their bikes, so it's hard, right? So this bike is a bike that I would never have considered buying before. Even though this bike isn't my style, I think it would be in the running for, you know, an enjoyable bike to ride, an enjoyable bike to own. But I would never, you know, if I had to spend the money to buy this bike before I figured that out, that, you know, that never would have happened. So I guess my advice to you would be try to ride as many bikes as you can by any means possible, and you can kind of figure out what's for you, because this is not a bike that I would have I wouldn't have paid money. I wouldn't have paid the price of this bike just to see. But now that I know how it is, maybe in the future I'll get something like this. This is nice. The KTM was nice too. Honestly though, I've been riding for like, it feels like 2 days straight. I'm getting tired, I'm getting hot, my muscles are getting sore. I need a break. I've got tomorrow off work, but I don't think I'm gonna ride. I think I'm just gonna take it easy tomorrow. I'm ridden out. I wanna go home.